Start the second half, and we're here at the NIU Convocation Center where the Huskies trail 35-16. Akron Zips it looking good in their lid lifter for the MAC campaign. NIU Wrestling is in full action. Catch the NIU Huskies versus the Ohio Bobcats Friday, January 12th. That's next Friday at 6 p.m. The MAC rival match will take place at the NIU Convocation Center's Victory Court. Admission's free. You can also find the match right here on ESPN. For more information on wrestling and all NIU sports, just go to NIUHuskies.com. It's coming up next week. Looking forward to that. Beautiful facility next door right here, part of the Convocation Center. Saw some volleyball in there as well this past fall. As we get back to action here as we start the second half. Energy. What do they have, the Huskies, and how will the Zips respond to what they expect to be an energy infusion here?
Well, I'll tell you what, Nutter and Amos have to show up this half, Matt. They got one field goal between the two of them. They both come in averaging double figures. They got to step up their game. And then Akron, they got to keep doing what they're doing on the defensive end, force tough shots, but also run their offense through Freeman. When he's not in, Ali.
Amos, 11 points a game. And Gebra Hewitt missed that opening three at this point. And staring at the numbers, Akron doesn't give up a lead at halftime very often. Perfect 7-0 this year.
Well, you're 1 for 12 from three going into the half, and then you come out and your first shot's at three.
From the corner, no less. Freeman spinning inside, high off the glass. Boy, he has perfected that jump up nicely.
And Akron, on the other hand, who do they go to? Freeman, and he's been productive all evening.
The old reliable 14 points, 6 rebounds now. Perfect on the free throw line as well. Amos on the drive. Lost it, but Nutter got it. Coit will fire up the three. That one's short. Coit right to the rim. And he gets the scoop shot. Got bumped a bit. And a bucket for the Huskies. Ends a 4 of 29 stretch. And Niederhauser hurt on the other end. That's what the whistle's for. Dealing with his right leg. We're looking at him now.
I didn't see it, Matt. Was it ankle, you think, or knee?
I think it might have been an ankle. It was on that scoop shot from Coit. Because he was just kind of flowing through the action. Dribble on the drive. Muscles Coit out of the way for the bucket.
And I think Tribble likes that matchup. He's got a little size, advantage, and took him down low and scored over him.
Nutter to the rim. That one's short, but the rebound and the finish from Ibargüe.
And you know what? That's what Coach Bruno, I think, probably addressed with his team. We got to get to the offensive glass.
We talked about it at halftime quite a bit. That three ball goes down for Nate Johnson. The Huskies with 3 offensive rebounds to show for in that entire first half. They were stuck on 1 all the way to the final minute. So can you attack the rim, but can you continue to go after it? Nutter goes to the rim there. You're starting to score a little bit. Now you got to get stops if you're a Huskies fan, and I think this is what John Gross wants to talk about. Quick timeout. Couple of driving lanes opening up now for NIU. Take a timeout. 2 minutes gone by here in this second half. Zarik Nutter struggled early, starting to get going a little bit. 4 points now, the Husky lead. Well, they got 20 points down. They got work to do.
Live sports. The NHL on ESPN Plus. Knowing where the season's biggest events can be seen means knowing you'll never miss one. Knowing where you live doesn't control what you watch. Means always seeing your team in action. Knowing you have access to 50 exclusive NHL games means knowing your plans for the next 6 months. To know hockey is to love hockey, and to love hockey is to have ESPN Plus.
Here's where legends are born, and every match is a spectacle. A celebration like no other. For the love of football, for the love of La Liga.
Lucky saw a body curly fire through my
for the love of soccer, for the love of football, for the love of La Liga.
20-point lead for Akron. You noticed something on that last drive for NIU.
Yeah, you want to get Nutter involved. We talked about that. He's their second leading scorer, and I'll tell you, he gets the layup, but a Bargwin makes it possible. He screens out Freeman, who's a heck of a defender in the paint, so he can get to the lane clean and lay it in. Now, Bargwin won't get an assist, but he should on that play.
See that seal right there of Freeman. So he sets that screen, comes back down, does it again, and that's really the first clean look we've seen from the Huskies all evening, which says a lot about what Akron's defense has been doing, but maybe they found something there, and that's going to be a foul away from the ball.
Yep, and as you know, Matt, if Nutter would have missed that, what would have happened?
Go back to the other end.
Bargwin,
the offensive rebound right there, too.
He put himself, like you said, the seal. That's for the offensive rebound
puts
putback.
Himself in for the offensive rebound. Bargwin gets the foul there. I had to think about that for a second. Tell me where he's going to go. I'll leave the bucket.
Usually you're asking me those questions.
Usually I am. Yeah, we're not used to that. Ali with 12 points now. He's got 5 rebounds as well.
And it's been a better start to the half for both teams.
Yeah, it really has. Coit, boy, a lot of dribbling out front. They are not letting him have space. Coit, I won't fall. And you can see he's just anxious to get going. Coit now at 9 points. I'll have free throws coming up.
Tell you what I think makes Akron a legitimate, team to win the MAC is their defense. Their defense and rebounding. All 5 positions I've been watching, they all can get down in stance and guard.
They might be a little undersized in terms of height. You're talking about Ali, 6'8" senior from the Fort Wayne area. That's your tallest starter. And Sammy Hunter as well, 6'9", but really nobody over 6'9".
Yep.
You start looking at this team and how they match up in terms of teams they might see in March. The physical defending team that they have, the way they play defense, that's going to bother a lot of finesse teams find their way into the NCAA tournament if they can get there.
Yeah, it'll take them out of their offensive rhythm and flow.
It's part of the reason why MAC teams tend to be really dangerous in March because of this. And on the offensive end, they get just enough help from the outside at times.
Freeman didn't get that offensive rebound, but he kept it alive.
Ali hits that casually, a 30-footer. Ethan Butler picking up the foul. He's had a couple of minutes here today, the Toronto native. Move this one out to the side. We got 2 pieces for the Zips. Who's the third contributor? Nate Johnson for 3. He could be.
9Q.
9 points a game for him.
He hovers right around double figures. So, yep. I think that's a guy that I think he'll improve as the conference goes along.
8 points against the Huskies last year. Their lone matchup. They played twice this year. Last year they only played once. This year the Huskies will travel to Akron 2 months from today on March 2nd. Huskies with a stretch where they finish at Toledo, at Akron, Central Michigan here, and then at Buffalo, who struggle a little bit. Ali. Here's Tribble, 10 on the shot clock. Through traffic, Coit tried the best he could. Just can't stop him because Tribble is able to rise up and finish.
And that was good defense. That's got to be frustrating. And Tribble, as you can see, he knows when he gets the ball in the paint on Coit, he can score over him.
Tribble now with 10. 3 Zips now in double figures. Turnover. That's the 8th of the evening. Tribble from 3, that's short. Coit's going to walk it up. The lead has grown. It's now the largest of the game at 25. Free ball from the corner. That one is short. Huskies now 1 of 16 from 3. Ali steps back. Here's Nutter around the screen against Freeman, and the finish. And Margwin slams it home.
That's a couple for him this half, and I know Coach Bruno's got to be pleased with that effort out of Margwin.
Crashing glass a little bit better. They had 3 offensive rebounds in the first half, 3 so far in the second half. First 5 minutes gone by.
Northern now go to the zone.
Huskies have finally climbed over 22% from the field. Johnson will let it fly again. And a whistle. You're going to get a Bargwin for the foul. And a timeout on the floor. Akron a 49-26 lead. Tough sledding for the Huskies. David Coit with 11 points. But it's Akron rolling on the road here in DeKalb. Timeout on the floor. 14-17 left in this one. Akron cruising.
Live sports.
Subway is now slicing their deli meats fresh. That's why the garlic roast beef is preferred by this QB.
And preferred by QBs with some beef, like us.
And if we prefer it, we know you'll prefer it too. Wait, we have beef?
So much beef.
Right now, get a free footlong at Subway. Like the new Deli Heroes. Buy 1 footlong in the app, get 1 free.
It's a pretty big deal.
Kinda like me. Order in the Subway app today.
Students of any age, from anywhere. Students in a new kind of classroom. Using our technology to power different ways of learning. Harnessing AI to plant new beginnings. So when minds grow, opportunities follow.
So you think you're ready for the NFL playoffs?
You ready, Joe? I was born ready.
Flyovers? Check. Extravagant entrances? Check. Dynamic duos?
Check.
Nightmare matchups? Check. Team of destiny? Check. All the heart-pumping, stadium-jumping action of your playoff dreams? Check, please.
Time to congratulate Bill and on a great career, a long, outstanding career. He's the voice of the Huskies.
Book ended with, I believe it was a kick return for a touchdown on his first play as a play-by-play announcer, and then saw a great finish in the Camellia Bowl. That's a way to go out. The Huskies are winning their first bowl game in at least a decade.
And Coach Hammock and his team and staff, they did a great job. They came on strong as the year went along.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how they develop in the coming months here, and see who ends up. You know, again, it's the transfer portal. Hey, see who's out there.
That's what makes everything so unsure, Matt.
Yeah, you don't know. You just don't know if you can sustain it because you don't know if people are going to stay or go. And and you've heard a lot of coaches in college football, especially in the last few days, talk about trying to recruit your own roster that you already have. You're trying to keep them in the building. It's not easy.
Yeah, recruit your own players.
Recruiting used to stop at signing day.
Yeah.
Now it stops at graduation. Stops at graduation. And Xavier Amos, you want to talk about a highly touted kid from Whitney Young, is a good example of, like to see him go 4 or 5 years in red and white. Just nothing's a certainty at this point. So
I'll tell you,
if Amos can get going here, 1 of 7 from the field, just 4 points.
Yeah, they need to have a good half out of him, going forward into the rest of the conference play.
In the last 50 minutes of basketball against Akron, the Huskies have shot 1 of 23 from 3.
See, now, you're in zone, you make them, force them to take a tough shot, you give up an offensive rebound or 2.
Freeman battling, free throws coming. And again, Amos on that one.
And I tell you, give credit where it's due to Akron. They go to the boards.
Again, they scuffled early just as much as NIU was, but they snapped themselves out of that funk pretty quick. Freeman back to the line. Again, 64% free throw shooter coming in, but he's perfect from the stripe tonight. 7 of 7 after that one. It's a 22-point lead. It's a second. Yeah, 16 points now, 9 rebounds, so he's one shy of getting that double-double. He's had 10 of those this year. Leads the country in double-doubles.
I tell you, what's impressive about him is, you want your best player to be your hardest worker. He works on both ends. He's got a great attitude, very unselfish,
Just
man.
watch him on this end here. Again, with a 23-point lead, before the ability to do that. But how does he position himself? 4 rebounds, 6'7", 6'8". Not that much size when it comes to, fighting against the trees to get rebounds. But clearly, work ethic matters.
And I'm looking at him right now. He's talking to everybody. He's the voice of their defense.
Nazir Mohammed, the freshman, on the floor for the first time. Brooklyn native knocks down the 3. Ali inside.
That was a great pass by Thornton.
He's got 14 now. Step back shot. That was a 2. And that one still loose. Secured by our Bargwin. A little ragged the last few minutes. Got Butler on the floor, Nutter, Bargwin, McPherson. As Rashawn Burno is searching up and down his bench for meaningful minutes. Armbar there for Nazir Mohammed. Playing in just his 3rd game this year. Pearson comes out. Bargwin comes out. So with Mohammed, the 6'2" freshman, they got Coit out there 5'11". Get a little smaller in the backcourt. And they do that with Freeman off the floor.
Northern's done a decent job with their zone initially, forcing tough shot, but they can't clean up the rebounds.
Go back to the zone here, and they can create a turnover as they do there. So the Huskies will get it back right at the 12-minute mark. Timeout on the floor. Tough goal for the NIU offense, but Enrique Freeman and company leading 3 players in double figures. Akron in charge in DeKalb. For him, this is a game that we remember from years gone by. See his shoe there came off. He's back down the floor. Uh-oh, cherry picking with one shoe on. Here, finish that with the left hand. Fine.
I'll tell you what, you could use that in a game of horsemen.
You could do that. They painted the floor since, so they could have marked the spot on the floor where the shoe incident happened. Just as would you just like an outline of a shoe?
Sure.
We've seen that like an individual chair left in the arena, saying that's where a home run ball was hit. But
we'll see if he can duplicate that move today.
Thornton, a Bolingbrook native, so for folks watching in Akron, that's maybe 45 minutes from where you, maybe an hour, I guess, just because we are in the Chicagoland area, so to speak. But yeah, he's been just above 10 points one time this year. He's been in double figures. Coming off the bench, it's a different role for him, but you can see he fits in nicely with this group.
He does, and I tell you what, whenever you have a change in coaches, Matt, those things can happen. I know he played a lot under the previous coach, had a really good start to his career here at Northern, but then there was a change, and a lot of times players feel, hey, that's not the coach that recruited me, so I might be more welcome somewhere else.
Couldn't help as you're watching that clip again. You see David Coit just curl over in laughter like, my goodness, what was that? Thornton will let it fly from 3, and he hits it. That's what he can do. Caleb Thornton, a 44% three-point shooter, better in his numbers here. And the lead back to 25. Nutter to answer, off the window.
I don't know if he meant to bank that, but you know what I liked about that, Matt? You know, he turned down the 3 and he pulled up from 15 feet.
Good shot selection. Shamon Scott at Shaker Heights Jr. He'll take the 3. He'll knock it down. 0 for 3 from long range in Cleveland, playing in his hometown essentially. On Saturday night, Scott gets some minutes today. Coit waiting for a screen, didn't happen. Step back now, that's a 17-foot jumper to rattles in.
Again, no 3, mid-range, and they're 2 for 2 from mid-range.
Huskies 44% from the floor in this half, and they haven't been able to cut into it. One thing is you start shooting well on the offensive end, but you got to tighten the screws in defense. They have not been able to get stops on this end either. Thornton shows it, whips it around, beautiful pass, stuffed from behind. That was Butler who got a piece of it. Muhammad from the corner. Nutter on the drive. High off the glass and in, and count it.
That's 3 possessions in a row, Matt. They've scored, and you know what? Not 1 3 out of all 3 possessions.
The Huskies have hit 3 of their last 4. Starting to string a few possessions together. That's the kind of possession basketball you want to see. If you're going to put it on the floor and get to the rim, you better get there. And Reed Nutter's looked good the last couple minutes.
Well, when we were on break, I know you've done a little coaching, and you said, you know, what you'd like to see the Huskies do is turn down some of those 3s and either get the ball to the basket or, you know, into the paint. And that's exactly what they've done.
They've been relying on it. It's a 2 of 17 from 3, and it's just not going to get it done. Again, the matchup a year ago around this time, pretty much to the day, they lost by 25 in Akron. Freeman at 27 in that one, but NIU was 0 for 7 from 3 in the second half of that game. And those three-point woes have continued. You can see when you get those driving lanes, now they're getting turnovers. Muhammad on the break. Lost the handle of it. I don't think he meant to whip it that way.
No, that wasn't a pass. That was just a, you know, didn't have the ball. Yeah, it was a turnover.
Freeman digging in. And it was going to be a foul call. Butler's ready to come out. He needs a break. He's asking for one. And Zreek Nutter also kind of keeled over for a second. He went down hard on that foul, by the way. The end one just a couple minutes ago the other end. And gotta know where you are as Michael Dawson, the West Virginia senior, stepped on the line. And Dawson's an interesting guy too when you look at his career at Akron. He's got 11 starts in 86 career games. Not the first, not the second, maybe the third or fourth guy off this bench. For him to stay as a senior and not look elsewhere is something of a rarity in today's basketball world.
Well, and I think that goes to show, you know, the chemistry of this team and how well they get along together. Because when you start playing for other players on your team and the coach, and you're not playing for yourself, that's when you tend to have a great experience, Matt, and everything makes sense in the game of basketball because it is a team sport.
He was hurt all of last year, so he missed that. Didn't see the Huskies then, but 9 minutes on Saturday, got one shot up. That was it. And I think they're checking who had the foul here, and also the officials continue to talk to Nutter, who is going to come out now. He is not right. Last 2 possessions, after that, where he got fouled, he landed hard. You see him reaching for his head. He hit his head either on cameraman or a chair or something.
Well, if he were on a football sideline, he'd be in the tent right now.
He would be. That's one of those. Taken away on the inbound. Johnson, nobody stopped him on all the switches. A free pass and a free lane to the rim.
A golden rule of basketball, you got to stop the ball.
Now, the fourth zip in double figures. Coit trapped for a minute. Bargood cutting to the rim and a slam. That was a nice give and go.
Yeah, it was Amos. Great bounce pass. In that situation, that's the only pass they could get through. He made the right decision.
The Huskies 50% from the floor. In this second half, Thornton right to the rim. Untouched, unchecked. As we're under 8 minutes left in this one. Three ball from David Coit. Just his second three of the night. 16 points. Thornton's going to walk it over and get a timeout. So the lead down to 20. Kind of stuck in this 20 to 25 window for a little while. I think John Gross would like to find a way to slam the door on the Huskies, but they keep cracking it open just a little bit. David Coit, can he get fire from long range? 16 points to lead the Huskies. Timeout. Midway through the second half here in DeKalb, Matt Rodewald, Carl Armato with you at the NIU Convocation Center. A 20-point lead for Akron, and NIU starting to go down the walking wounded a little bit. We just saw this a couple of minutes ago. Zreek Nutter has now left the floor and headed back to the locker room. Watch him land here. Watch his head. Kind of out of frame there, but he immediately goes right for the back of his head and took him a couple of positions before he came out. Not sure at this point if we'll see him the rest of the way, but he was clearly bothered by it for a couple of minutes before coming off the floor.
Yeah, you certainly hope, his health is the most important thing. And you hope that, it's just minor and nothing that's long-term.
Friendly fire, really, more than anything else. Just Freeman. And he floats it all the way. He had a defender just leave him. I think he bit the fake so hard. Really crafty move by the veteran.
Did you see how high he extended that ball, Matt, when he released it?
That was, we're expected to get snow next week. We got a little rain there a couple seconds ago. That three ball is good. David Coit's starting to heat up a little bit.
Yeah, speaking of rain, he can make it rain from up there.
19-point deficit. Akron still in control, and just a couple of possessions to put this away. But Ali had it poked away. Can the Zips make sure they take care of the possession and clock here? And now we've got Tribble that's banked up. And so Tribble comes off the floor. There's a foul as well. Huskies have put the Zips at the line in the bonus. That was Olusegun and Durasindi that picked up the foul there. He's on the floor. Huskies have pretty much gone as deep in their bench as they're willing to go at this point.
And, usually wouldn't mind having Freeman at the line, but tonight, there we go. I jinxed him.
He did. 8 for 8 up until that point.
He was 8 for 8, so.
Still, it's a good night for him. 18 points, 9 rebounds. Still looking for that 10th rebound. Keep that in mind. Deborah Heels with a steal. Got 10 double-doubles this season. He leads the country. Here's Coit. Butler rotates. McPherson. Deborah Hewitt now 5 in the shot clock. The Huskies take a lot of time. That's short. McPherson lucky to get that on one side of the floor. Nearly walked over the court line with it. Shot clock at 10. Coit slipped. Gebra Hewitt, baseline, kick out. McPherson, 3-ball. Johnson, the rebound.
Open look. It's a good baseline drive by Gebra Hewitt and made a nice pass, but just couldn't knock it down.
Clock's your enemy, though, if you're a Husky fan. That's 50 seconds taken off the clock and nothing to show for it. Zips are fine with it, as they have looked good since midway point of this first half. Shooting 55% from the floor this half. And they've got 8 threes on the night as well. Ali, baseline jumper. Ali with 16 points. 30 minutes of action. Real good night. That should be more than enough for the Zips to walk out with a victory here. McPherson attacking the rim.
Well, the positives for Northern, they have been able to manufacture some easier shots, and they've been finishing some of those drives to the basket.
When you're up by as many as the Zips have been, natural to take the foot off the gas. Can you take advantage of it? They have at times, but they haven't been able to get stops on the other end.